Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here, and man, we got some exciting Scream 7 news today. Not only is Neve Campbell returning to the franchise, but we also learned that Kevin Williamson is coming in to direct. Now, he hasn't directed a film since the late 90s when he did Teaching Mrs. Tingle, but we all know that his writing credits include I Know What You Did Last Summer, every single Scream movie, even the most recent ones because he created the characters, and more recently The Following with Kevin Bacon, which was a TV series that ran for a few years. So it'll be interesting to see what his directing chops are like since it's been almost 30 years here since he sat in that chair. But I think that we've got some good news here with Neve coming back. Now, all the ugliness that happened with Melissa Barrera back in 2023, I'm not really looking to get into that right now, but certainly it is a bummer to see her go from the franchise. It's too bad that she got let go. You know, in a world where you have freedom of speech, sometimes the things you say, right or wrong, have consequences. So, you know, she gets to say what she wants, but her employer can also respond the way that they see fit as well. Unfortunately, they let her go. I'm hoping that someday she can return to the franchise. We've seen that happen with a lot of these legacy actors and characters. You know, they take big breaks from these franchises and end up coming back. So still holding out hope for that. And I would say, while I was kind of lukewarm about her performance in Scream 5, I mean, it was fine, there's nothing wrong with it, I could tell she got way better in Scream 6. I would say she is one of the shining stars in Scream 6. And if this is the end of the line for her in the franchise, at least they wrapped it up definitively at the end of Scream 6. So you could always extend that story and see what's next, but also, you know, she decides not to follow in her father's footsteps. She leaves the mask behind. Boom. If that's the end, then that's the end. So, getting into today's news with Neve Campbell returning and Kevin Williamson coming in to direct. Let's take a look here. Bloody Disgusting has got the article here. Neve Campbell returning as Sidney Prescott in new movie from director Kevin Williamson. Well, we've kind of summarized that. Just wanted to show you guys, you know, a reputable source here. You know, it goes into her Instagram post, which we'll take a look at, and you can even see it down there. So yeah, there's no date for release of the film. They are bringing back Guy Busick and James Vanderbilt. So I guess that's like my area of concern when it comes to Scream 7 moving forward. You know, I thought Scream 5 was okay, and I thought Scream 6 was okay, but I felt like the killer reveals in both movies, they were really, really weak. Especially, I mean, it just gets absurd and ridiculous in Scream 6, but in Scream 5, I thought it was one of those instances where they're just kind of hitting you over the head with their message. I think, you know, one of the things too, as Scream goes on, you see other franchises struggle with different things, like how do we explain Michael Myers? How do we further explain Freddy Krueger? But in Scream, since there's a different killer every time, you struggle with making sure that that third act lands and that the killer reveal works for most people. Because I tell you what, in Scream 6, man, the first 2/3 of the movie I loved so much, and then when we got to the reveal, I was completely distracted. I mean, I just sat there thinking, I can't believe they did this to us. Like, I can't believe that these are the killers and this is how they're acting. I felt like the rug was just pulled out from under the audience, and it was kind of like a screw you to everybody that liked the first 2/3 of the film. So I am cautiously optimistic because you're bringing Neve back and you're bringing Kevin Williamson in. So I hope that he takes a look over the script and, you know, punches some things up because, you know, it's just got to land the right way for most of the fans. You know, it's already kind of split the fan base what happened with Melissa Barrera, and I've even seen online today that people are not too pleased that Neve is coming back. I think some people sort of look at it as kind of a slap in the face that she's taking this on after the way they treated Melissa, but you know, I think that we've just got to move on. So yeah, here is Sidney from I think this was the publicity art for Scream 5, which is trying to get you to think that anybody could be Ghostface, and I guess that's true, anybody could be Ghostface. I highly doubt they'll make Neve Ghostface in Scream 7, but man, what a way to switch things up. I actually think I really like the idea that I've heard Dave McCrae bring up a few times. How about we approach a Scream film as the first part of a two-parter, and you let the killer or killers get away at the end. So things are kind of left up in the air, and you have that like kind of end of Empire Strikes Back ending where it's not really resolved and it's not a happy ending, but it's a good place to take a break and revisit that story, the following year. So who knows? Maybe they'll finally kind of do that where the killer gets away actually. So this is the shot from her Instagram there. You see the script with her name on it. Right away when I saw this, I was like, man, directed by Kevin Williamson. That is pretty awesome. I hope that he has a good crew around him because he doesn't have much experience directing. But I think he's the right guy to be at the helm of the ship because he created the original idea. He knows these characters. He knows how to tell this story. So, like I said, cautiously optimistic, but looking forward to this because I'm a big Scream fan. I love the first four movies. The Scream 4 is actually my second favorite in the franchise, but I don't know if anything will ever top the first one, but maybe if they do a two-parter and they build some intrigue, just imagine how many of these conversations we could have if they left a movie where you don't know who the killer is. Just imagine the fan theorizing, the speculation. Sometimes I think those things are actually more fun than what we see on the screen. Like whenever they announce a new Star Wars movie or something, like all the theorizing, I find that like more invigorating than the experience of watching the film sometimes, which I think is just a testament to the fans and the community that we have. So I'm feeling pretty good about things. Who knows what direction they'll take it in? Is Patrick Dempsey going to come back? Is Stu Macher going to come back? I know a lot of people want Stu back in the franchise, but I feel like he's got to be pretty definitively dead at the end of the first film. I mean, I love him as a character. Love Matthew Lillard as a performer. I think he's awesome. Super electric in that film. SLC Punk is another great one of his that I think I just don't hear talked about very much. Not a horror film, but a great movie nonetheless. But yeah, let's take a look here at the rest of her post and what she had to say here. She says, "Hi all, I'm so excited to announce this news. Sidney Prescott is coming back. It's always been such a blast and an honor to get to play Sidney in the Scream movies. My appreciation for these films and for what they have meant to me has never waned. I'm very happy and proud to say that I've been asked in the most respectful way to bring Sidney back to the screen, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Well, actually, I could. While I've been so incredibly lucky to make these films with both the master of horror Wes Craven and the wonderfully talented Matt and Tyler team, I've dreamt for many years of how amazing it would be to make one of these movies with Kevin Williamson at the helm. And now it's happening. Kevin Williamson is going to direct Scream 7. This was his baby, and it's his brilliant mind that dreamt up this world. Kevin is not just an inspiration as an artist, but has been a dear friend for many years. That makes sense, right? They've known each other over 30 years, or about 30 years at this point. To the amazing Scream fans, I hope you're as excited as I am. See you on the set, at Kev Williamson." Yeah, this is awesome news for Scream fans. I think we should be so pumped. It'll be exciting to see what Kevin Williamson can do if he can capture that Wes Craven feel, because I felt like Scream 4 did a really good job of, Wes not only returning to form, but also kind of pushing the boundaries. Right? Because it's sort of a take on, or it's sort of a commentary on reboots and requels, even before requels were that big of a thing. And I think that he, pushed the kills a bit further. So it'll be interesting to see how Kevin Williamson decides to take the direction and the tone of the film. Now, they are bringing back the writers from the previous two Scream films, as I had said earlier in the video. So hopefully Kevin sits down with those guys. They take a fresh look at that script, punch it up, just make sure that it's got Kevin's stamp on it. I wouldn't be surprised if by the time that script is in its final form that it feels a lot more like one of the first 4 movies than it does the last 2. So that's what I'm hoping for as a bigger fan of 1 through 4. And, you know, I just hope that Kevin gets to guide this thing in the direction that he wants it, and we could get the best Scream film since Wes did Part 4 in 2011. So those are my quick thoughts on the news, guys. I know it's not very much, and I don't generally do a whole bunch of news content on YouTube. You know, there are so many people that do that really well for every franchise and every movie, but when it's something that I'm passionate about, like Halloween or Scream, I'm probably going to cover it. So, you know, as the news develops here, I may do some more videos just depending on what you guys want to see. So drop on into the comments and let me know below, what do you want to see in Scream 7, and how do you feel about the news that dropped today? Also, like the video if you enjoy this kind of content, and click subscribe if you'd like to see more. Until next time, I've been and will continue to be Davey Deathray. Take care.